In fact, Barisan Nasional is very multiracial, but we are not racist. I mean, I'm a Chinese, I can't change that, right?
Of course.
And
yeah.
I'm happy to admit that I'm Chinese, but it makes me no less Malaysian.
I grew up in Johor, right, where I think in the first 17 years of my life, I've never really experienced water cuts. Maybe there will be some days where, they'll say, oh, pipe dah pecah, the water will be like down for like a few hours at most, right? I didn't have to live in fear, right? But I've been living in KL on and off for about 10 years now, and on top of course, recently floods and all, another thing that I think constantly we've been living in fear about is our water cuts, right? Prolonged water cuts. What are your thoughts on this? How can we make this city more livable?
That's right. I think providing clean water and fresh air is a very, very basic responsibility. And this is what we don't get. I think it's because of poor leadership. And poor leadership can be as a result of incompetence, can be a result of corruption, and also because there is no competition. I have friends in Damansara, they operate cafes, restaurants. I think there was one year, probably in 2019, 40 days without water. You know how much money they lost? All right, and we were told to go to certain places to collect water. It's very troublesome.
Yeah.
All right, for homes, maybe we have I build special water tanks.
Yep, that's right.
All right, and that cost me a bomb. All right. What about those restaurant owners? Just imagine. So I think this is a problem which cannot be resolved due to the poor leadership and lack of political will. And don't forget, Damansara, in our place, Damansara, we have what you call it, a local plan. All right, to demarcate which areas are commercial, low-density commercial, high-density commercial, residential. And that plan has been fixed from day one. Now, if you constantly change it, things will go off balance. That's why you have water cuts, because the water cannot be enough to provide overdevelopment and overpopulation.
Keep everybody accountable.
Yeah.
Flash floods, extremely low wages, ridiculously high living expenses plague the lives of urbanites. The average wage that Malaysians earn, I think, is about 2,933, right? That as anybody who is living and earning in these parts, we know that is not enough.
You have to micromanage it at the ground level.
What are some of your plans, if you could share with us?
To me, if you look at the pockets of poverty in urban areas, not everyone in Damansara is rich. Now, if each and every 222 member of parliament were to look into their area and micromanage it and bring those issues to parliament, I'm sure we can find a solution. This is just not done for the past 10, 15 years. We were busy politicking. Manage it at micro level. We can solve poverty. We can solve everything once and for all. Let's do it. This is 2022. This is PRU 15. Don't wait until the 17, 18. We don't have much time to waste today. All right, let's get down to work.
Yeah, we should.
Cut the politics, cut the fake news, cut the hate politics. Let's do it.
I think the only way forward to me is that everybody should work.
Period.
Living conditions in Damansara has gone from bad to worse in the recent years, right? Can you expand and explain a little bit more on that?
One of the main problems we face now is overdevelopment in Damansara PJ. That's why you have problems such as dengue, flash floods. Yeah. Because once you have too many buildings, the water has nowhere to flow. All right, and you have this kind of problem, traffic problems. Now, all this is because of very, very bad planning and random approvals being given to those who seek for developing in PJ and Damansara. When PJ was declared a city in 2006, it was put into place, this requirement for public participation as part of the development approval process, which means to say, if someone wants to develop something in Damansara PJ, you must invite the public to give their feedback and endorsement before they can actually give the approval. Now, this process has been completely disregarded. The ultimate winner will be the residents of Damansara. Because once I check and balance them, of course, they have to check and balance me too. And everybody will wake up, everybody will be on their toes. They will start serving. Those who never answer the calls will start answering calls. Those who don't serve will come to serve. And this is life. The basic law of nature is as long as you have perfect competition, healthy competition in politics, I think the ultimate winner will be the people, the residents.
So recently, I think thanks to technology, we've been talking a lot about transparency, right? And access to information that thankfully so many of us have access to. So then that brings me to my question, which is, do you think we should legally mandate all politicians, i.e. after you come into power, you're elected by the people, that you should declare all your assets?
Of course. You should declare. I can declare even now.
Love that.
There's no big issue. What's
see that?
What's wrong with declaring your assets?
Of course, if your hands are clean, there's nothing to fear.
No.
Since we're talking about rights, so for the past, many years, right, Malaysia has always struggled with free speech and freedom of expression. People from all across Malaysia are starting to they feel like it is my right to dissent. It is my right to say what I feel and think, right? A lot of our viewers are young people who speak up on issues that we care about. So what are your thoughts on free speech? Why do you think we're still struggling with free speech all these years later, and why is the climb down so?
We come from a very, very traditional so-called country, all right, and all these rules are based from the Mat Salleh time. Of course, for them, if they are the colonialists, they want to be in charge. They don't like people to express themselves freely. All right. But then again, free speech must come with responsibility. But now in this modern age, I think that concept of free speech must be re-looked and redefined. Right? Like what we talk about, digital age, right? Digital information and all that. So I think Malaysians are ready for a more open society. And we are moving towards the right direction. I think you need more leaders, politicians, younger generation leaders. All right. To actually express themselves, tell the people that, look, if we go along these lines, we're not going to go anywhere. So
we're talking about racism and race and moving forward, and you did mention that the only way to move forward is to work together, is to respect each other, of course, by all means, right? So then, how does that work when you belong to a race-based coalition and party?
We are race-based, racial, but we are not racist. In fact, Barisan Nasional is very multi-racial. I mean, I'm a Chinese. I can't change that, right?
Of course.
And I'm happy to admit that I'm Chinese, but it makes me no less Malaysian.
Of course.
All right? We are more Malaysian every day and no less Chinese. That is the concept of Barisan Nasional.
So you don't think that it's time we move past race-based parties?
Maybe, but I think as far as Barisan Nasional is concerned, that's why I contest under Barisan Nasional, not MCA. All right? So we cannot use our party logo. In fact, the logo that we use is Dacheng, Barisan Nasional, and that is multiracial, multiculturalism. No less Chinese, but always more Malaysian.
Can you name us 3 issues that are most important to you?
Youth. We have to empower the youth in Malaysia because the future belongs to them.
How do we empower the youth?
Good qualities, leadership program. Get them involved. Tell them that, look, hate politics, fake news will not get us anywhere. All right, good values, care for the environment, respect for human life, advocate peace for mankind, protect our environment. These 3 things we must inculcate in the youth. Number 2, good governance and environment again. That's why I said for PJD Link, we have to have public referendum. That's good governance. And you're creating a better living environment for all of us. That's very, very important. And number 3 is education for all.
What do you think is Malaysia's biggest problem?
Today?
Yeah.
Politics and hate and fake news.
Yeah, we agree.
That's all. Too much politics.
Malaysians are tired of all 3.
Yes. I'm tired of it. Living Damansara is not easy. And every time when we read the papers, who's going to be PM, who's not going to be PM, we are sick and tired of it. Malaysians on this 19th of November must come to their senses and decide. And we respect the decision of the people.
Of course.
After all, it's a democratic country.
That it is. What does your ideal Malaysia look like?
It must be balanced. It must be stable for the good of the people. If you want to change Malaysia for the better, the change must come from within, from where you are. Why change others when you yourself are not doing the right things?
So an ideal Malaysia for you starts from self-reflection.
That's right.